Your heart skipped a beat the moment Jungkook's lips touched yours. Giving a peck on your lips, he pulled back again, standing with no expressions on his face. You gulped, still feeling the touch of his lips against yours, even though he looked uninterested throughout the wedding ceremony, but not even for once he made you feel embarrassed just how you have imagined. The priest announced both of you as husband and wife. You had known Jungkook from your school days where he had been your cold and stern teacher. The transition from student to wife feels really unbelievable but satisfying at the same time because he was your crush. Both of your parents were happier than ever as their biggest wish got fulfilled today, and they showered both of you with blessings and love. After the wedding ceremony, reception was held and the guests were waiting for you and Jungkook to arrive. The reception hall was abuzz with the sounds of laughter, clicking glasses, and the soft strains of classical music. Family members and close friends mingled, offering their congratulations and well wishes to the newlyweds. Their eyes shifted in one direction when you both walked in together. You changed into a beautiful, elegant gown while Jungkook was wearing a tuxedo. As you moved through the crowd, you overheard conversation from your family members. "Oh, look at our Vian, she looks so happy," your aunt said with a soft smile on her face. "I know, Mom, I've never seen her glow like this," your cousin said as she knew all your secrets and also about you having a crush on Jungkook in your school days. "Won't you say anything about Jungkook? He seems different too, more relaxed. This marriage is truly a blessing." They all shared a beautiful smile. "Vian, come here, my baby." You looked at Jungkook, who nodded, giving you space to talk to your grandmother. You walked to her while other guests pulled Jungkook in a conversation. "My dear, I can see how much Jungkook cares for you. His eyes follows you everywhere." You glanced over at Jungkook, who was deep in conversation with your father. His gaze flickered to you, and for a brief moment, his expression softened. You felt butterflies in your stomach. After some time, your parents got busy in themselves, and you both were left alone. Throughout the wedding ceremony and from the day the talk of wedding started, you were always nervous. It was a long journey, and you never thought you'll end up with the person you used to imagine yourself with. You were thinking all this without realizing that your eyes were fixed on him. When Jungkook looked at you, he got a little nervous. "I'm sorry," you said, looking down. "Can you come here for a second, honey?" You nodded and walked but tripped over your dress. Before you fall, Jungkook was quick enough to catch you on time. Your eyes met. "Are you okay?" You nodded and stood up as the situation got a little awkward for you. Your parents smiled, sharing glances at each other. "Thanks," saying that you walked to your parents. After the reception, you came in the John mansion as you're going to live with your in-laws for a few months before shifting into your new house. You are their only daughter-in-law, so they wanted to spend some time with you. Right now, you were struggling to take off your dress, which was complicated as hell. Why did I choose something so complicated? This dress is impossible. Come on, just a little more. How do people get out of these things on their own? He said, trying to undo the satin laces. Just then the door opened and Jungkook walked in. He paused when he saw you, his eyes widening slightly in surprise. He lowered his eyes. "I'm sorry, I forgot to knock." You turned towards him. He looked at the other side as if looking at you is a crime. "It's okay." He was about to leave, but little did he notice that you were struggling with your dress. It was late at night and everyone went to sleep. He didn't want to disturb anyone, and if they wake up, they will make sure you both sleep in the same room, which can be a little uncomfortable for you. So he decided to ask you if he could help. Do you need help with that? He said without looking at you, and you felt so relieved that finally someone asked you for help. Yes, please, this dress is a nightmare. He walked over to you, keeping his eyes away. Just help me in undoing these laces from the back. You said, moving your hair in front that left your back half bare. He hesitated, but he can't even leave you like this. Guide me, please. You nodded. He began working on the back of your dress, his fingers deftly undoing the stubborn buttons and hooks. You watched him in the mirror, noticing how he carefully avoiding looking at you directly. The silence between you felt heavy with unspoken thoughts and emotions. Finally, Jungkook broke the silence. I hope I'm not hurting you. No, you are doing fine. You replied, your voice barely above a whisper. You noticed him through the mirror. His eyes were away from you, and he was making sure his fingers doesn't touch your skin. You don't know what this is, whether he was forced by his parents for this marriage or he doesn't think that you are good for him. No wonder there was a big age gap. When he first joined as a teacher in your senior high school, you couldn't help but to fall for him. So many girls of your class had a crush on him, but you never thought destiny would bring you back to him. His careful avoidance of your skin felt like a gesture of respect, but it also made you wonder if he had no interest in you at all. As he undid the last hook, he stepped back, still avoiding your gaze. There, you should be able to manage the rest, he said, taking a step back. Thank you, Jungkook, you said, turning to face him. He nodded, his eyes still not meeting yours. If you need anything else, just let me know. With that, he turned and left the room, closing the door softly behind him. You stood there for a moment, staring at the closed door with a mixture of emotions swirling inside you. It was clear that Jungkook was trying to be respectful, but it also left you feeling uncertain about his true feelings towards you. The next morning you came downstairs feeling nervous. It was your first day at John Mansion, and although now you are a part of his family and everyone loves you, but still you were feeling a little nervous. You still think about the night before and wonder how Jungkook felt. You entered the dining room where everyone was already seated. They smiled and greeted you warmly. Good morning, dear. Did you sleep well? His mother said with a twinkle in her eyes. You nodded and smiled. Yes, mom. Jungkook was at the table looking calm. He glanced at you for a second and then looked away. It's nice to see you both up so early. I thought you might sleep in, his father said in a playful tone while you blushed and started serving yourself breakfast. We just wanted to join everyone for breakfast. Ah, newlyweds, must be nice having the whole room to yourself. Jungkook's cousin brother, who also came there, said while teasing you. You exchanged a quick glance with Jungkook, who said nothing. He didn't want to tell them he had slept outside the room. Jungkook's mother chuckled. Leave them alone. The conversation was full of jokes and teasing. You tried to join in but kept thinking about Jungkook and his silence. At one point, Jungkook's father smiled at you. We are all happy with this marriage. Jungkook cares even if he doesn't show it. What do you mean by he doesn't show it? Whyun is his wife. Why would he not show her love? Jungkook and your eyes met. He noticed how you were looking at him. You were right. After the breakfast, Jungkook got up before looking at everyone. I need to go to the office. His mother frowned. Today? Aren't you on leave? It's for a bit, Mom. I'll be back soon. He then looked at you. Will you be okay here? Your heart skipped a beat when he asked you that. You nodded. Yes, I'll be fine. His parents smiled, looking at each other. Okay then, I'll leave. You nodded while he walked away. Your eyes fell on his mother, who flashed a warm smile at you. Give him time. He can be hard to read, but he's a good man. You'll see. You smiled and nodded. A few hours later, Jungkook came back from the work and straight went to his room. This time he knocked and went inside, but the room was empty, making him wonder where you are. He came downstairs and looked for you everywhere but did not find. His mother came to him when she noticed he looked tensed. Your wife is in the garden. Jungkook gulped and looked at her as she caught him. I was just looking for something else, he said nervously, trying to avoid looking at her, but she smiled and came near. I'm your mother, if you are forgotten, and you can hide things from the whole universe, but not from me. Jungkook, she's your wife, and you have all the rights to love her, care about her, and make her happy. If you're worried about the age gap, then don't. Me and your father has 10 years of age gap. You guys are only 8 years apart. Open your heart without any guilt and embrace her love. Don't make her upset. Jungkook's heart skipped a beat when he caught a sight of you, sitting near the pool, playing with the water. You looked so happy, so calm. He remembered the time when he first saw you in the school. That time his heart skipped a beat for you. He really liked you, but because of the position and age gap, he kept his feelings hidden. But he never imagined that years later he would see you as his wife. He's still afraid but loves you more than he imagined he could do. He was watching you with a small smile playing on his lips when your eyes fell on him. He looked lost, because that's the reason he didn't look away, and his smile says that all. But when he realized and saw you looking at him, he looked around, getting awkward. You tried to control your smile. Are these for me? All of them? You said, looking at Jungkook, surprised, who brought 2 boxes of your favorite donuts, that too from your favorite bakery that you didn't even told him about. He nodded and focused his eyes on the road. Yes, I was just passing and saw these. Your heart melted because you clearly know how far this donut shop is, and Jungkook can never pass through that because it's a small bakery near your parents' house. These are my favorite donuts, and the bakery too. He just gave a nod while trying to act normal, although he understood that you must have caught his lie. You opened the box and picked one before extending towards him. Do you want one? No, I'm fine. You gave him a weird look. You'll regret not tasting them once I finish all of them. He took a glance at you. I won't. I don't like donuts. You're really very boring. You started eating your donuts, but there were so many options that do all of your favorites, so you were taking bites from every donut, unable to decide which one to finish first. Jungkook took a look at you when you were busy stuffing your mouth, and he tried to control his smile to see how you were stuffing your face like a bunny. You turned your stuffed face towards him only to see him smiling at you, but he quickly put on his normal face and looked at the front while your face turned red in embarrassment. You quickly finished the food in your mouth and looked down, embarrassed. I've tasted them after so long, so I couldn't control myself. Please don't judge. He chuckled, making you surprised. It's like a once in a blue moon to hear him chuckle. Did you just laugh? He looked at you. I'm sorry, I didn't laugh at you. But you look so good when you laugh. I would advise you to smile more often. You always smile but stop as soon as I look at you. But I notice everything. His cheeks turned pink as he realized you must have seen him smiling at you from afar. He closed his mouth as he realized he's running out of words. Last night, when you came in the room after I sleep, he gulped and his eyes widened when you said that. I know you come every day and sit beside me. That's the reason I never lock the door. He looked at you. I'm sorry, I just check if you're comfortable. You smile. Thank you for caring, but you don't have to hide your feelings if you have any for me, Jungkook. You continued when he didn't say anything. I know this was an arranged marriage and you must be forced by your family. Of course, you deserve better, but I want to ask you something as it's been a month now and I really want to get this thing out of my head. Tell me honestly. What's that? You took a deep breath, preparing yourself to ask him such a big question. Do you hate me and just with me because I'm your responsibility now? Jungkook's eyes widened in surprise, and for a moment he was silent. He stopped the car on the side of the road before looking at you. Hate you? Why would you think that? You looked down, unable to meet his gaze. Because of how you were with me in school, you were so cold, so distant, and I know I did not have a great impression because I was a little childish and a below average student. Jungkook sighed and cupped your face gently, making your heart skip a beat. He made you look at him into his eyes. And what does that change? You being a below average student, does that change the fact that now you are a business owner? I was a teacher then, bound by rules and expectations. I couldn't show my feelings no matter how much I wanted to. Your heart skipped a beat and you looked at him surprised. Your feelings? Jungkook nodded, his eyes were genuine. I've always cared for you, even back then. I never hated you, in fact, I felt for you hard. This marriage isn't just an arrangement for me, it's a chance to be with the person I've always wanted. Tears filled in your eyes as his words sank in. The weight of his confession was overwhelming, and you felt a mix of relief and joy. All the doubts and fears you had harbored began to melt away, replaced by a warmth that spread through your chest. I still can't believe this. You whispered, your voice trembling. I thought you didn't care. Jungkook smiled, wiping the tears off your cheeks. I know it's hard to believe when I didn't show you the care and love you deserve, but now I promise you that I will do everything I could to make you happy. He hesitated but then gently took your hand in his. His touch was warm and comforting, and you felt a connection that had always felt distant. The sincerity in his eyes assured you that his words were genuine, not just empty promises. After fighting with his thoughts, telling himself that this age gap doesn't matter, that it's not a crime to love you unconditionally, each day he felt harder while admiring you from afar, and now he's ready to love you openly without any fear or guilt. Want us to be happy. I know I haven't been the easiest person to understand, but I hope you'll give me a chance to show you how much you mean to me, he said, gently brushing his thumb over the back of your hand. You nodded while tears slipping down your cheeks. I will. I want that too. Jungkook's smile grew wider, revealing a side of him you hadn't seen before. It was a moment of deep connection, where both of you felt the start of something new and wonderful.